Hello, my friends. Welcome to the O Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, CW, and today is a fun topic: the best wrestling moves that you can turn into finishers. Now, the pantheon of finishing moves in professional wrestling is wide. It's like the Grand Canyon. You can fill it to the brim 2 times over with the amount of finishing moves that are in professional wrestling. Some of them are so spectacular, you wonder how the person even pulls it off. If anyone ever sees someone do a top rope like 450 spin and then land on somebody, that is a fantastical professional wrestling move. It is very impractical, and the fact that they hit it at all ever is a testament to their skill. But in terms of a finishing move, like, that is specifically for that one person. I think, and I believe Stone Cold thinks this as well, the best professional wrestling finishing moves are moves you can hit from anywhere on anyone. I'll say it again. The best professional wrestling moves you can hit on any person at any time from anywhere. Now, what type of moves can you do like that? So the easiest barometer I would say is if you were to give your finisher, as if you were a pro wrestler, if you were to give your finisher to someone either bigger or smaller than you, could they pull it off? And if the answer is yes, despite their height or weight, your finisher is probably great. Probably. Not all wrestling moves are finishing moves. So let's go through some that can be. These are based off of people who've turned them into notable finishers. The first one is the neck cutter. Obviously, that's the RKO. That's Diamond Dallas Page cutter. It's any cutter that you see someone, they jump up, they grab your neck, and they land on the floor. That move, like the RKO, if Randy Orton gave the RKO, he passed it on to Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio could technically pull that move off, and honestly, I wonder how Rey Mysterio would pull off an RKO. The way that man can flip and fly around the ring, even today, if he were to do an RKO type, it would probably be spectacular. Could you imagine? Anyway, let's not dwell on that. The cutter is one of the best, most versatile moves to turn into a finisher because, again, you can hit it from anywhere. You can hit it on anyone, and let's say you are a small guy or gal with the cutter, you can build a story in the ring around you trying to get that cutter. Stone Cold Stunner is a cutter. It's just a very, fantastical spectacle of a cutter, right? He does the kick, he does the flip off, he does the kick, he drops you on his own butt, but it's a cutter. And it's fantastic. And I will have the debate on, is the Stone Cold Stunner better than the RKO? I think RKO is better, but I think Stone Cold Stunner is one of the greatest finishers of all time. I don't know. I'm torn. Which one is better? You guys let me know in the comments. Anyway, moving on. Next one, a DDT. I think DDTs have been overused since Jake the Snake built that move into a devastating finisher. Now it's become sort of commonplace move, and I think it should move out of that because a DDT really is a devastating looking move. You can do it to anyone from anywhere. You can build setups to get the DDT, and I I was having like this weird wrestling fantasy moment while I was working out. Like, how would a light person, a small person, get a DDT on a large person? You can build a story in the ring, obviously, of them chopping down the bigger person's legs, right? Because the way the DDT will work is that the legs have to buckle so that they will fall down with you. But if the person's bigger than you and you go for the DDT and you wrap around their neck, they can just hold you up. They can stand up, right? They can have that sort of wrestling, like, I'm too powerful for that. Think if Ricochet had a DDT finisher and he was facing Braun Strowman, right? How would he get Braun Strowman into the DDT? Well, he would have to beat up on his legs for the entire match and then do some sort of weird setup where he kicks him in the leg and his knees buckle, kicks him behind the knee and it buckles, then he dives onto the DDT, lands the DDT, end of the match, right? DDTs are a fantastic finisher if done correctly. I believe John Moxley / Dean Ambrose, when he had a DDT, that was, a thing. But it didn't, I don't know, I've seen it a couple times and it never really looked all that devastating. But a DDT can look just painful. Go back and watch any Jake the Snake DDT. That man, he made it, right? But DDT is definitely one of those moves where you can hit it from anywhere, you can hit it on anyone, and you can be anyone and hit it on someone. Great, just a side step before we move on to the next one. Think of Hurricane Helms trying to chokeslam Kane, and that'll give you kind of a juxtaposition as to what I'm talking about. A chokeslam is a big person move. Speaking of which, are there any ladies who do chokeslams? Does Rhea Ripley do a chokeslam? We need a lady to be chokeslamming people. That needs to happen. Next, I have to give props to Macho Man and Kairi Sane, the flying elbow. A fantastic finishing move. Why? Because have you ever been hit with an elbow? It hurts like hell. It's one of the hardest points on your body. The elbow and the knee, though the knee is a little bit more prone to injury, elbows are just straight up bone, connecting bone. When you fight in, let's say, kickboxing or MMA or something like that, throwing elbows is a devastating move. Not only that, but it doesn't hurt as much as there are so many little bones in your hand. When you throw a punch, you can break your own hand while hitting someone. But an elbow very rarely will break when you smash it against someone's face. So elbows, they're crazy, right? And to think of a top rope, like I'm gonna dive from 6 feet off the ground, from 10 feet in the air or whatever, after I jump up in the air and land my elbow on you. Oh, that's crazy. It doesn't take much. You don't have to jump very high, so anyone can really do it. You can do a second rope elbow drop, and it could be devastating. Again, everything goes with the sell and the setup. I think Kairi Sane has one of the cleanest, crispest elbows. The way she contorts her body in midair to get that elbow in place is a work of magic. Go look at any clip of Kairi Sane dropping an elbow and you'll just be in awe. And of course, you can't do it without Macho Man. Macho Man's elbow goes down in history. R.I.P. Macho Man. When that man passed, I said he's up there dropping elbows on anyone he wants in heaven. Just flying around crazy elbows. Next one, super kick. This is a pretty widely used move. It's just a kick, but I think we can all agree that Shawn Michaels made it a spectacular finishing move. Again, all it takes is you having to connect your foot with someone's face. You don't need to be big or small. If you're small, it's actually more of an accomplishment. Like watching Ricochet face Gunther and doing all those just like jumping kicks to try and get to Gunther's face. If you can do that with a super kick, it's a pretty devastating move. The Usos do it. Actually, everyone really does it. It's a little overused, but again, Sweet Chin Music is like the top spot for super kicks. From the setup to the sell to everything, right? It was just a fantastical move, and the fact that people use it now is just a testament to what Shawn Michaels did for that move. And lastly, I'm going to double this one up because we are running out of time. The half Nelson slam and literally any joint manipulation move. So an ankle lock, arm bar, something like that. Again, if you've ever been put in a move like that, you know how much it hurts. And the half Nelson slam looks kind of like a rock bottom, but it's a little bit more devastating. It requires a twist, but maybe we'll talk about that in another episode. Joint manipulation, definitely the worst one to do. It'll mess you up. Thanks for listening. This has been O Wrestling Podcast. Let me know what finishing moves you guys would add to the list. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. And remember, I'm your friend.
I'm your friend, but if I ever see you in the ring, I can beat you. Don't you know? Yeah, yeah, yeah.